Hey guys, we're back. Both sides of the line, episode 31. Azza, how are you, champion? Good to see you.
Good to be back, mate. Thank you. Happy birthday for the other day.
Well, thank you. Do you feel there's something in the room?
I feel there's
some sort of
there's a presence here with us today.
It's a good presence, but part scary because I think we're being judged. So we have Beck. Hey, Beck, in the background. She won't jump on the podcast, as is lovely, beautiful better half. Has come to visit and listen in, but will not jump in. So I think we're being critiqued. So no pressure.
Definitely
You look a little bit unsettled and nervy.
I am on edge. I'm on edge because I know I'll be critiqued and I'll probably be told what I didn't do well in this podcast.
You can even tell with your words aren't the same.
I know,
you're very cautious on what you say and how you say it. Oh, okay, there's the first look. So we can tell by Aaron's reaction that there's something going on. So if you pick up on anything, just know there's judgments come. We love you, Beck.
You know what? I'll be under more pressure when Big Dog gets in the studio as well. Because he is busting to get in here, isn't he?
All right, so we're going to throw it out there. Big Dog, you are going to be part of a podcast.
Eventually.
We're going to get Timmy Devlin in.
Yes.
Because I keep saying that we're going to get him in, but he keeps saying, I haven't been on yet. So, but we are going to do a couple of changes in the next couple of weeks. Hopefully, I'll explain why with our podcast.
Yeah.
But anyway, mate, how are you? What's going on?
No, not too much is going on. Happy birthday, like I said for the other day.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
You enjoyed it with family and you got out.
Yeah, I'm very lucky. As you know, I was flat. I've had a few ups and downs, which is normal for today's current climate.
Yep.
A lot of messages. A lot of people reached out, like amazing amount. I feel absolutely grateful, and the way they word some of the things personally on Facebook, social, a whole lot.
Yeah.
They don't have to go that far.
Yeah.
It's not just like we push like for the sake of it. A lot of people reached out, and I was amazed. So made my day, gave a bit of a lift. But now I'm a bit flat because now reality is we're opening and we've got to work out what's happening with transition and the damage. Because now we're open, Now you assess the damage. But anyway, how are you? That's the main thing.
Yeah, I'm good. I can't complain too much, mate. Like I said last week, I tend to stay in my lane with how I see the COVID situation. And to be honest, I'm in the fortunate position, like I keep saying, I'm working, albeit a little bit differently from home. That's okay. And my family's doing pretty well overall. So, yeah, I'm not hurting to the extent that some others are hurting, but it'll be good to get back to some sort of normal with junior sport, hopefully over the next, week. We were hoping that maybe, or we were hearing a couple of different stories, weren't we, as to if we would be back this week for VJBL basketball or it may be pushed back to after the school holidays. That was the other rumor that we heard. So anyway, we're not playing this week. Stadiums are capped at, 50 people inside a stadium or whatever that is. They're floating the idea of only having participants in stadiums and not parents, which I think would be awkward, especially for the younger age groups, 12, 14s in particular. I think it'd be pretty important to have mum or dad there. And again, in the event of injuries, of course, you wouldn't want young athletes, suffer a serious injury and mum and dad aren't physically in the stadium. You know what I mean? Like that would be maybe distressing for some people.
But also, if you had a parent coach and a parent team manager, you still need the other parent to be there because the coach has the coach, the team manager has the team manager. So there's a lot of things you have to think about.
Yeah, and scorers and whatnot. It would have been a very difficult thing to probably maneuver and figure out across the state. So fingers crossed, maybe we get back next week. But it depends how things progress over the next 7 days, really. And that could go any which way, couldn't it? It's a very volatile situation.
Oh, it's just unfortunate. Like I don't understand the numbers. I don't know how you get it. To be fair, like I can coach at a private school or a school and have numbers and coach.
Yep.
But I can't do it here with minimal numbers with full control of the landscape.
Yeah.
50 kids at Werribee Stadium. Explain that one to me.
Yeah.
12 courts.
Yeah.
I know there's 3 sections or 4 sections. One court's by itself. I get all that.
Yeah.
If you had 20 on courts 1 and 2, 20 on courts 3 and 4, that's 40. And then if you can have the other courts have 7 courts, you can have 20, 30.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm lost with numbers. And my son plays footy tomorrow. I can't watch him. I don't get it.
How are they going to police that? So is that extra? I'm just trying to think about it right now. Is that extra people they have to have
volunteers
around, like at the gate to say
Well, there's
No,
no
you're
gate,
not allowed in.
but most football fields aren't gated.
Well, that's it too.
They're
isn't
op-
it?
they're
Yeah,
open
so-
field.
Yeah, of course.
So I could just say, and sorry if I'm putting ideas in your head, I can go walk my dog for 3 hours around the footy ground
Yeah.
while my son's playing. I'm not raw at the system. I have followed the rules.
Yeah.
But you get my point. Like, I don't get
It's
it.
hard. Yeah.
So I'm frustrated, but I don't want to get too frustrated now because it doesn't make sense. But basketball's got to get back, and hopefully we get back next week. But the fact is, we don't know,
Yes.
so we can't prepare.
Yeah.
My concern, like we said last time, if we had played Friday night, the kids weren't ready.
Well, we essentially really haven't had practice. And like you said, kids not being ready, the risk of injury just goes up dramatically because we haven't done
Expectations,
anything to-
result driven, trying to win or lose, all of a sudden it's amplified. So we're not even ready. I'd like to think that we gave our kids 2 weeks of training. I know we got to start back game situation because of the season's coming is
Yeah.
moving.
Yeah.
But you need 2 weeks of training. Football.
You
Train
need
this
2
week,
weeks?
they're playing footy.
Well, do you need 2 weeks?
Well, it's not 2 weeks. We'll call it 3 hours.
Mm.
We look at 2 weeks as in it's 2 weeks.
Yeah, 3 or 4 hours.
If you
yeah,
do
okay.
if you do 2 trainings a week,
Mm.
it's only 3 hours.
or 4.
So
depending
it's
on
only
what-
3 hours preparation.
Yeah.
It's not enough. In a team environment, which means the individual isn't getting 3 hours work rate. They're getting team concepts, how much their heart rate goes up, how much their body actually moves.
Yeah.
I don't think it's enough. No, I think 2 weeks. But that's
Yeah.
just me.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean I'm right.
And it's an unusual position because technically we're on the eve of what would be school holidays, end of next week. You embark on school holidays.
So we're going to stop again.
Yeah, I think there's a few things that I guess Basketball Victoria have to contend with and think about. We spoke last week about how school holidays should probably be treated as school holidays. But I don't. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how the rest of the season sort of structures up going forward.
Yeah. So what we mean by that, guys, is we'll chat the other day. So if we play through school holidays, play some catch up, and we'll talk. And I said and we had a good chat about is that if we play through school holidays, it becomes a chance that we could do it again. Some parents have booked holidays. Some people are having family time because some people have worked.
Yes.
So teachers, that is their only time they get. And we got to keep doing all the commitments we have on our normal weekly cycle. We're not going to get the downtime. Even though we've been down with COVID, we still need that family holiday break from it all to have that normal, enjoyable time together.
Yeah.
And I get scared that gets lost. But then the kids also need to play.
Yeah.
I get the balance, but I just don't know, to be fair.
Well, it's the thing. Something's going to give somewhere. It's going to go one way or the other with it, I guess.
Yeah. And I'm not blaming Basketball Victoria for this. They can't make rules because they're capping, so it's hard.
Yeah.
I see the whole scenario is too much of a flaw, and the risk of damage to kids' bodies. I think is we need to be concerned with.
Yep.
Let alone their minds aren't ready because they're still carrying some broken emotional feelings.
Yep.
So let alone the physicality that we're worried about.
Mm.
They're probably not mentally ready, let alone being physically ready.
It's a hard thing to, again, stop and start. Have 2 weeks of nothing
Correct.
all of a sudden, and then gear up to get back in the competition mode.
So-
It's tough.
I get we want to play. So we're going to force rush back next Friday.
If that's the case.
Is it
yeah.
worth the 1 game risk? If we're going into holidays, we say, you know what? Let's now build the schedule. Let's re-identify the season, and let's come back the week after school holidays, and we're prepared for it. If you want to do some extra training, it's by choice, whatever. We've got access to facilities.
Yeah.
And maybe we can give ourselves preparation where instead of rushing back next week, 2 week layoff.
Yeah.
And I still don't think we should force those games during because I think people do need some time.
Yeah.
People are going to say I'm an idiot, but trust me,
That's just
I need a
just an
holiday.
opinion.
I need a holiday from COVID. I need a holiday from the stresses. I've had not one downtime where I've been stress free.
Yeah. And that's an opinion and a feeling, and people are all, like we always say, are in different boats and navigating it differently. I guess if we are held up, is there anything stopping us from being Friday night and then a Sunday game?
Well, Sunday,
and then getting your one weeknight practice, whatever that might be, and then you roll around and do that again.
the Sunday makes sense because they're training anyway.
You're training anyway, so that essentially there's courts booked.
But you've also committed that time. So you're very committed to that.
Yeah, yeah,
So if you allow for that, I think it makes sense that you can you can play those double headers.
Yeah.
I'm for that.
yeah. I think that would make it fun as well for the athletes.
And then what could be good too, if you really bring it on, you can then start to have these before the youth league games. So you have a
wouldn't that
club.
be great.
Oh, a club. It's like club day
Yeah,
every day.
yeah.
Oh, that'd be amazing.
That'd be really good. That'd
Yeah.
add an extra dimension to it, wouldn't it? Imagine, for example, we'll speak from your experience for Hume, for example, having your girls team, your 18-2s or whatever, play before the youth league girls take the court or whatever. That'd be really fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then everyone's there. So for the youth league girls or boys or whatever, you've got 4 courts being played.
Yeah.
All those kids might hang back and then watch the future.
Yeah.
Makes sense. And put a barbecue on, fundraisers. It's a scope there to actually get you. But let's not.
Boom. There we go. Hey, that's what we do here on both sides. Of the
We
line.
are.
We
thinkers.
put ideas out there, and people might take it up.
Spot on. And that's what. And doesn't mean, like I said, we're not right or wrong.
Yeah.
But we just put out there that's how you brainstorm.
Yeah, just sit around and talk and have ideas about it. Maybe I don't know if that's happening. I hope it is. I don't want to be presumptuous.
Yeah, I don't know enough to say.
Yeah.
Hey, before I forget, how come you haven't got my coffee cup? The coffee cup. So shout out Hopper Motor Group.
With the coffee cup.
So Paul Hopper Motor Group, amazing. Got these coffee cups sent to me. Says Hopper Motor
You're gonna have
Group.
to hold it up.
Transition
to the
Sports
camera,
up there.
that way. Yeah, there
I
you
don't
go.
know if you can see the logo.
You might have to really
Different
stand up and
colours.
give it closer.
It was an amazing gift. So they're amazing, Hopper Motor Group. What they've done for us, I can't thank them enough. Amazing people.
Now,
yes,
this probably segues into.
but that's not good.
Sorry,
That's
mate.
bad for pub. No, I'm joking.
It's off the table.
Don't worry. I lost mine for 2 weeks. I just found it.
Yeah, staff Dazza. Now, this segues into what we were talking about before. So, did you want to take the lead on this?
Are we talking about mobile podcasting?
There we go, baby.
All right. So what we want to do, just for something different flavor, we wouldn't mind going to business and some places to do our podcast mobile from there. We just sit. So one is P71, who have been amazing for me.
Yep.
And they don't realize it.
Mhm.
And Laura and Frank who run that business amazing. And I get to sit in the booze and just do my thing and I can just shut down from the world and it's a great place.
Yep.
So we're going to do a podcast there.
Yep. Wonderful.
And then I'm going to reach out to a few others and say, can we do a podcast there? If it's just, just say, look, we're here at wherever.
Yep.
Different landscape, different flavor.
Yeah.
But also it's good to say, look, these businesses have been hurting as well.
Absolutely.
Let's get behind them because they've got behind us. Whether it be through business connections or personal.
Yep.
Some business don't realize what they do for you, how that person has made a positive impact for you.
Yeah.
Like a coffee shop.
Mm.
You get the right coffee shop with the right people, and that is your nice safe haven of calm, relax, enjoy. It's always that nice. You feel like you're part of their family.
Yeah, I get you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
a business who do that very, very well. Oh, great. You're not just a number. You're a member.
that's it, isn't it? So a shout out to the small businesses that have had to navigate through this past 12, 18 months.
And to be fair, before
Yep.
that damage is going to come. There's more damage to come, but we'll
Yep.
explain later. You keep going. Sorry.
Yeah. I was going to say, so that's what is the beauty of small businesses, isn't it? You walk into a place, you feel part of it. They make you feel welcome. Like you say, it's a safe haven. You generally bump into a couple of people within the community there, and you're able to share stories. I think that's a great thing, isn't it? And that's what we talk about on this podcast all the time, isn't it?
Yep.
The beauty of sharing stories, learning from it, that sort of thing.
Mate, when you actually, I had a meeting with someone the other day.
Yeah.
And we spoke about that concept. I met a guy for the first time. Someone introduced me to him, and we'll talk, and that they'd never heard the concept of listen to people's stories, and we spoke for 2 hours.
Yep.
Like I always say, I'm always interested in the first conversation. I can easily get lost in the second.
Yeah.
I'm happy to have a second conversation with these guys.
Yeah.
But just listen to what they're doing, what I'm doing, and think, hey, it's good.
Yeah.
I'm not worried about arrogance or whatever. I've heard the same stuff. It was real. It was passionate.
Yeah.
It makes an impression.
Yeah. So we're going to embrace that whole, we're going to get out and about. We're going to celebrate the stories of where we are and why we're there. And yeah, that sounds like a great idea.
And it won't be like, not that we do this professional here, but it'll be just a laptop.
We are professional.
Feel the background noise. feel it.
Yep.
And we'll learn from it.
Absolutely.
But I'm keen to do that.
Yeah.
So
that'll be good fun. Look forward to it.
So how you feel about not coaching, mate? Because I know you say to me that you're doing well through COVID. And you've been lucky. You got a great family, working, but
yes,
you're not doing what you love to do, which is your passion.
Yeah, it is my passion and my outlet. I get to use my brain in a different way, and that's that. We spoke about it last week. Coaching's chaos, isn't it?
Absolutely.
It's an absolute chaos. It's complex. Things can shift at any moment. Because at the end of the day, you're working with other human beings.
Mm-hmm.
And the great thing about it is, as a junior basketball coach, you're a leader of a group of young people, and your storytelling and your teaching and you're showing them the way of how to play the game, become better athletes, but better people. Absolutely missed it. And I think the stop starting of it, that doesn't help. It's something where through the stop starting of it, you try and have the regular catch ups, albeit it's over Zoom or whatnot. You're sending messages to players, even past players that I've coached. I've been able to stay in contact with and just check in, see how they're going. And I've loved that. But yeah, it does start to wear thin. You're tired. You're tired because you're trying to stay up and about yourself, and you're trying to, in your own mind, for example, this week, in my own mind, I was preparing to coach Friday night. And that was going to look very different for me because we planned on having two guys who were luckily, through their own great efforts, made the Vic Metro team. They were meant to be flying out and go and isolate over in WA. That changed again. But in my mind, I had 8 guys I was going into the game with Friday night.
Yeah.
You know, so in my mind, I was preparing for that. And my boys, no doubt, preparing for that because they knew we were going to be too short. Opportunity for each and every single one of them to step up. We're going to be away, all those sorts of things. And the general message has been try and stay as ready as you can.
Yep.
So that emotional or that mental preparation up and down, it does wear thin. I don't know if you felt that being a coach yourself.
To be fair, that's been less of my worry because I'm in a business. So all my worries have been is surviving the business.
Okay. Yeah.
And that's where I wish I had the job that I could just have those focuses and miss the basketball.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, I'm too involved in other things that have got me sidetracked.
Okay.
So that's what I struggle with.
Yeah.
Is to align the difference and even look forward to basketball. I'm not looking forward to it because I've got so many worries in my life.
Okay.
For the not as most people have. So it's hard to get in that focus. So if we had played Friday, I wouldn't have thought about the game until I got there.
Okay.
Because I still have been thinking, well, hang on, we've just opened. I still got to worry about what's happening tomorrow and next week. I wouldn't have been in basketball mode, but I would have done the right thing by my girls. But I wouldn't worry about the game. So I arrived.
Yeah. Okay.
That's hard.
That's different for you.
It's hard.
Yeah. Okay. And you got Tegan there too. She would have taken over and said, Dad, sit down.
Yeah. But one thing I'm happy, I know I could easily click in and then create that mindset.
Okay.
I just can't worry about when it's not. I need to park those thoughts.
Yeah. Okay.
Hey, there's a rumor going around that the domestic basketball competition has signed the guru of coaches. Is that a rumor?
That is a complete lie.
Is that a rumor?
There's no such thing.
Beck's in the background. Now, this guy who signed this domestic role, I'm never going to do. I'm just going to be a parent. I'm not going to get involved. Okay. So are you coaching domestic?
I will be coaching domestic, yes.
I'm pretty confident. Not going to get early this stage of your kid's life. You know, you just want to sit back. Blah. Oh, the violin words. You're the coach now.
Yeah, mate.
Because that's what the other coach wanted. That's another debate I'll have with you later, guys. Is that's what he wants. What do you want, Aaron? So you've signed.
There's no such thing as signing.
Sounds good. Don't let the truth get in the way of the story. It sounds. Let's pump. Let's just.
All right. So
puff it up.
Yeah. Look, my son is playing under 12 basketball. His first season, this past season, the start of this year. Yes, I'll be coaching him this coming season, whenever that starts. It was meant to start a few weeks ago, but I haven't had the chance to.
So when's the announcement?
There is no announcement.
Well, we just had it.
Well, we just had it. Yeah, good on you. But there's no official announcement. You're getting into me here. But look, I had in my mind, we've spoken about this. So this is probably a bit of an insight to where my mind's been at. I've been very reluctant to sort of step in there and be the coach.
It took 2 months, your reluctancy. Is that a word, reluctancy? It took 2 months. When you say reluctant, that's 2 years, 2 months, mate, you're coaching him. That's not reluctance, mate. That's I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
I'll argue this one with you.
I don't know if you can say no. I don't know if you can say no. It's something that we can do together. I have my massive fear has been I don't know how often it works where parents coach their kids as to how. What's the word I'm looking
for? The coach's hat, the parent hat.
The coach's hat, the parent hat, the kid hat, the player hat,
and the outside and influence supportive hat.
Yeah, and that whole dynamic, like I've seen it damage. parent-child relationships going forward. Like it does. It can damage if you don't go about it the right way. So that's always been my biggest fear. So I'm going to have to navigate a bit through that.
I'm pretty sure you'll be told if you're stepping over the line, mate. They're right back.
Yeah, Paddy's got a pretty good one.
Yeah. Look,
Hey, Paddy's he'll step up and say, Dad, just be my dad.
Dad,
Dad, you're my
back
coach
off.
now. Dad, I don't want either role. Just go.
Look, I'm very fortunate that Patrick is is not shy to tell me how he's feeling. So that'll be good. It'll be an interesting dynamic. I'm looking forward to just having the fun with it that domestic basketball is. It's not taking anything away from it. It's so important, but it's nowhere near as serious and planned and X and O's oriented as what rep and Big V basketball can be, for example. That's another layer for me to come down to that real grassroots level and just enjoy coaching real young kids.
With no expectations.
With no real weight of expectations. Correct.
And also your training plans will change. Well, have they rock up, I'll adapt. But
yeah.
I think a lot of coaches that sort of forget that, going back to that, reignites the flame.
I wouldn't say the flame was ever out.
No,
sorry,
but what I mean,
you just talking generally.
I'm talking about the enjoyable, excitement flame. Some coaches out there passionate, I get all that, but there's a fire in your belly that I can't explain. When you go back to the basics of basics and see kids go from nothing to something, you forget that.
Yeah.
I remember Joe Wright saying, he goes, Daz, I get the 16 best players in the that play NBL. That's all I get. He goes, but you make an impact on all these kids.
Mm.
And then you forget about that.
Yeah.
You're going to go back to the basic of basics. And when you have that feeling, what you tell me, Daz, I know what you meant. So when I mean fire in the belly, I don't mean to love the game. There's a fire in your belly that becomes, but you think, I didn't have that for a long time. Even though I love coaching, it's a different fire in the belly.
Yeah.
The excitement of seeing a kid bounce a ball instead of taking 4 steps. A kid who actually passed to his teammate and not stopping to wave to his parent.
Yeah.
I mean that in a nicest way. Or you're getting a so simple drill that will take 2 seasons in with the players you have now, but could take 2 weeks just to get the first pass right.
Yeah, absolutely.
And when you get that, it's like you're doing a cartwheels. It's an amazing feeling.
Yeah, it would be.
That's the feeling I think gets lost.
Yeah.
Going back to that moment, not, guys, get this drill. Come on, come on. No, sometimes it's not so simple.
No.
But when you get it, it's great.
Yeah.
So I'm going to ask you in the future,
when we get
if you got that feeling that I try to explain.
Yeah.
Maybe I've explained it wrong.
No, I think you've explained it right. I haven't had to coach at a domestic level, so I'm looking forward to that. Young kids and really just having
a laugh
and showing the pathway into the game that they've just chosen themselves, and they just want to go out there and have fun with friends.
What we might do a live podcast on Aaron's first coaching game at domestic, and let's see if he can actually separate the seriousness of X and O's and the expectation and standards to it's just domestic. They're just kids as. So Beck, are we in on that one? So Beck will host it with me. We're going to do a live feed, Aaron's first domestic game, and see if he can
control himself,
separate himself,
and not act like an idiot.
So, guys, if you think that should happen, I'd like you to jump on and say we want that to happen. So, message me, whatever, and I'll make it happen.
Yeah.
So Beck's in, live stream, interview, chat. What are your thoughts?
Do I get a halftime interview like they're doing?
Yeah. So we'll we'll try and get the kid. And Beck, I'll ask him, Beck, as a mother, as a parent, what are your thoughts? As all that stuff, and as an outside view, what are your thoughts? You'll be judged. We're going to get live, so we get everyone to judge you raw and real.
Jeez, now I'm really nervous. This has gone from something that was just going to be fun to very.
Oh no, it's going to be fun for me and Beck.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
I'm not sure about you. It's not about you, but it will be fun for some.
I'll be sweating bullets.
All right. Well, I mean, actually, you know what? Beck will get Big Dogging as well. Big Dog will come down.
No.
And he'll give us a critique.
No.
Commentary live.
Now, as much as Big Dog and I hang in on each other because we've got a very love-hate relationship. There's lots of love there. We probably just play it up a little bit. When we get him on, you'll see. I won't be able to get a word in, mind you.
Well, to be fair, Big Dog, he sent me a nice message too actually this week. Very, very, very supportive of what we do here.
Yep.
He's love it,
Mm.
but we'll get it on.
Yeah.
We'll sort it out.
But anyway, yeah, no, I look forward to it, mate. I think it'll be a lot of fun, and I look forward to being critiqued by yourself around how I carry myself with the young 10 and 11-year-olds.
I want to see the first drill you try and achieve with them. Actually, hey, Beck, we're going to we're going to do the first train. So we'll do a week in the life of a domestic coach, first week in. Training, so introduction, engagement, the train plan to the game.
Yeah, that training plan would be a very loose training plan. Don't worry about that.
I think we should track it.
Well, I can't see the training plan going to plan. Put it that way.
And that's the idea.
That
and that's
is,
what
isn't it?
makes it more fun.
Yeah, and that's
The
the art of
adaptability
coaching,
of what
isn't
you
it?
can do with kids that are absolutely more amazing than we think.
Yeah, being able to coach through the chaos. I look forward to it.
Going back to kids, I think I've been lucky.
Yep.
I'm happy I can judge myself that I've always coached my kids. Not because I felt I had to.
Yeah, you did.
No, I didn't. I had 4 kids.
And you
And
got dobbed in for coaching every single one.
well,
of
if
them.
I was ever going to coach,
Yep.
I couldn't coach any other team. So I'd never watched my kids play.
Yeah.
So it had to be a balance. So if I'm going to do it, I'll do it. But if I don't coach, I'm okay with that too.
Mhm.
So the fact is, it's a joy to know when you can actually treat your kids as a player and separate it. It's a great feeling. And then when you get in the car, and I'm not the parent coach where you get in the car and start to chat
Berate
about it.
them
I don't
and
talk about it.
no.
Yeah, I'm not the coach that they were. When I get in the car with a parent, if they want to chat, they don't. It's fine. But how you can actually make that, and maybe sometimes you might be a little bit hard, but you learn and navigate. But what you'll find is if you adopt them all as the same, it just becomes easy to do. You forget that's your kid.
Yeah.
And then you can look back and after the game, you can look at it as a parent. During the game, it's a great feeling. Some people don't have the luxury of getting that right balance.
Absolutely.
I think I got the balance, and I've been doing it for a very long time with 4 kids going through domestic VJBL, and now my oldest is 23. And I've coached them at youth league and all that.
What's some of the criticism you got along the way? Did you get criticism? Did you get heavy criticism
No,
along
I
the way
never-
from the outside?
No, only from my own family. So it might be this.
Right.
That's my thing. I'm being a bit too hard. Sometimes if I'm going to do a message,
Yeah.
but then sometimes I try and explain why I am what I did or blah. But no. I've never had anyone say I favoured my children,
Wow.
and I never had anyone to say that my child only made the team because I was coaching.
Right. Okay. Well, that's good.
Yeah.
That takes a load of pressure off, I would say.
I've been lucky, but you got to remember though, to be lucky,
You make your own luck.
you've got to create the environment at the start. So these D days and those concepts and the parents.
Yep.
I was explaining, like, I'm a parent and all that stuff, and we're trying to get balance. And
Yeah.
and then there's times I might have parents say you need to play your kid more.
Right.
I'm never. It's about there's times where you need to rate to really know that your child's making a difference.
Yeah.
But I say I see that. I just don't need to make it public in front of the other kids.
Yeah. At the start, did you find it hard to separate the parent coach side of thing, or just never at all? It was just natural for you
some
to be able
reason-
to just separate.
I just don't think I've ever felt it an issue.
Yeah.
Never.
There you go.
That's
That's quite. Would I say rare?
don't know.
I don't know. I've seen where parent-player relation just hasn't worked. There's been the odd example where it has. I mean, you look at Lindsay and Andrew Gates. That's probably the top example where it's worked. I've seen Brad Salter and his dad, like John. I've seen that work. I've seen you do it, but I've seen many other examples where it hasn't. So yeah, it's interesting.
Well, I remember when Josh was at Geelong, he hadn't played for 3 years. Tries were done. A player was because of ill health. We had a spot, and then Josh jokingly said he wants to play again. I said, really? And we're just joking, bantering, and then all of a sudden, bit of seriousness. So come down to a training, but I didn't say you're playing. Just got to come down to a session.
Yeah.
He done a session. Then I spoke to the boys as a group, collective group, without JB being involved. What are your thoughts? He's my son, but I got no qualms just to make the team. What are your thoughts? They've got great feedback. Then I spoke to the club. He's my son, blah, 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 blah. I'm not doing it because he's my son, but I think he can bring something to the table. But if you say that, I'm all for the decision because after tryouts, I had support from both parties. But I made sure they were both happy with that.
Yeah, you were open, honest, and transparent, and
then he had to earn it.
and he did earn it because he was your starting point guard.
No, he was and
Good old JB.
the smart ass was good too. But anyway, but I went through the process of, this is my son, he's playing. I went through it.
Yeah. I think the messages from hearing you talk now is that you're completely open, honest, transparent through the whole process.
And I'm going to say, well, as when the game starts, they're just a player.
Mm.
They're not my kid. I know it sounds stupid, but when I treat them all equally, they're all my kids.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You know, I've seen one of my own personal kids get hurt in a game. I'm not worried about them. Well, I am, but I know that
Kaz is there and she'll deal
whether
with
it be a parent, team manager, whatever.
Yeah.
You got him.
Yeah.
I'm not going, oh, it's my son. I'm coaching.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'll do like any other kid. Are you okay? Okay, go get looked after. I'm okay with that. After the game, okay. I'm a dad now.
Yeah.
You just got to be able to. I think it's easy. It's like in a grandstand, right? People sit with me and say, how can you not sit here and not coach your kids from the grandstand? So what do you mean?
That's yeah.
I can't comprehend that.
But you get that because you would have seen as a coach where parents are coached from silos. It does your bloody head in. It's ridiculous.
But if you notice me, there's sometimes I don't even sit with my own family. Not because I don't want to. I just don't want anyone talking to me because I want to go sit and watch my kids play.
Yeah.
And enjoy it. I think I told you, Tegan one day missed a foul shot in the youth league game. She looks at me in the grandstand and I yelled out, I ain't shooting it. So instead of giving her
feedback,
a concept, whatever, she looked at me, fixed it herself because she knew what to do. She just didn't need me.
Yeah.
But no one was in the grandstand. I gave a bit of I said, babe, and the whole crowd laughed. I said, I'm not shooting it. She had to rely on herself and made the shot.
Yeah.
I just don't get it. So enjoy it is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I will.
And Beck will make sure you're in line anyway.
Yeah, she will. Absolutely, mate.
So moving forward, mate, what's going on? What else is news? Anything else that we should probably have a crack at, chat about, or
we've been talking about culture and leadership the past week.
True.
Have you had any sort of thoughts around, because it's been so up and down in terms of the top stop start of sport, in terms of coaches and leaders coming back to competitive sport eventually, is there a way in which you would encourage coaches to approach the eventual startup again?
Are you saying as an idea, or what would I do if I was at a club? Which is the question.
Both. Go for both.
All right. If I was at a club,
yep,
straight away I'd be calling all the powers to be.
Because technically we're halfway through a season now, just so you know.
But we're not, in theory. Immensely, yes, but we're back to a start of a season.
Explain that to me.
So the preparation, what you do to get the momentum to a season, we're virtually back to square one because the momentum's gone. The stop-start from last year, we're still carrying the burden from last year. We haven't really got enough momentum from this season.
Yep.
So I feel like we're virtually back to what would we do in pre-season to get our kids ready for the season ahead.
Okay.
If we throw everything at it now, we're not ready mentally. We're not ready physically. So my first goal would be we go back to what we always said: engagement, participation, get these kids back on court.
Yeah.
The scoreboard will take care of itself. We may lose some, may win some, but that's not our focus.
Right.
Our focus is get the bodies moving,
yep,
the bodies playing, engagement back, and also the social gathering.
Yep.
Social gathering. There's some kids are going back to being the introverts they were at the start of the season.
Yep.
So you got that, that culture build up, the connections. They're all actually starting to drift away again. So you got to rebuild that again.
Yeah.
So back in pre-season.
Okay.
So D-Day would be smart. Reconnect, re-engage. But I'd say the coaches, our priority is not win or losses now. I get rankings. I get win at all costs. The seasons are in. We're not grading or qualifying.
Yeah.
Let's just get through the next couple of weeks. And if we do that right, you'll finish strong. If we get it wrong, we'll finish poorly.
Yeah.
Let's go for the strong finish, not the strong start.
Okay. I get you.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
What'd you do?
I would love to say I agree. I do agree.
We don't have
but
to.
I want to be both sides of the line.
We don't have to.
I'm going to be both sides of the line. There's about 8 regular games left.
So guess what?
And then finals.
So we prepare for next year.
But then are we always going to be preparing for next year? Because at the moment we're living in such a world that this isn't going away.
I agree.
So are we always going to be in a state where we're just preparing and preparing and preparing? Do we ever go, nah, we're back and we've just got to start competing in what is a different norm now?
All right, both sides of the line. Let's go back to the very start when we came out of COVID. Did we go in gradual or at full pelt?
We know we went in full pelt.
So
now, the conversation was let's gradually build up, but I can't categorically say that everyone went with that gradual build up. We went straight in. We did tryouts. We smashed out tryouts. We went straight into grading. And then we had that snap. When did we have that snap lockdown? Was it end of January?
February, 5 days.
Start of February.
Yeah, somewhere in February.
Because we didn't do the tournament. Oh, we did do the tournaments.
It's almost
it was
done.
straight after the tournaments.
Yeah, it was in February sometime.
Yeah. Which impacted the second grading phase, whatever it was. So, but my point is, you're saying, let's prepare, reset. But you just at the moment, we're just going to be constantly interrupted. So, for the sake of competing in competition, do we need to adjust our focus to?
No, we're going.
I've only got 8 weeks
we
left.
can adjust the system. We can adjust the concept. So, for example, we can easily create a round robin format,
We won't do that.
but we can, right?
We won't.
I get that. We can play a Friday or a Sunday to get games catch up, right?
We won't.
I agree with you. So the fact that they won't, it's not about we can't use COVID as a reason now. The powers that be refuse to do the right measures in play. So one day, one club will take the right measures. So my problem is, I understand the stop-start concept, but COVID last year we lost all the year. Yeah. Well, at least we've got 3/4 of the season this year.
We haven't though.
Well, half, right? But it's more than what it was last year. What I'm getting at.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So we're going into a concept where by this year, if we haven't got COVID-19 sorted out, basketball's not our problem. Our livelihoods are the problem. So this is going to be an ongoing thing. It's not just basketball. So my passion would be the long-term longevity of our kids, our program moving forward. So I would say if you classify a loss as a sacrifice, don't care. It's not a sacrifice.
Right.
And that word will never get used when it comes to losing.
So my question from that is, are we going to really forget how to compete?
No.
What the essence of competing is, because we're like, oh, don't worry about the losses. Don't worry about the wins.
No, we're just
because
saying
we're going to lose through this period. We're going to lose that edge of competition.
Oh, yeah, no, you're right.
You know what I'm saying?
But if you're a competitor, you're a competitor, right? You can still manage yourself and be competitive. So what I'm saying is, if I'm going to play you for 30 minutes a game, you might be averaging 22 minutes for the first 2 weeks.
Yeah, but I'm saying like longer term, we're in this prepare phase. We get 2 or 3 years down the track. These kids don't know how to compete.
That's another. If we're looking at 2 years down the track,
This is our future right now.
COVID-19, it's a bigger problem than basketball. Is what I'm getting at. If this short-term thing is going to become a long-term thing, basketball's not a problem. Life is the way of life, because working to work and want to work and have the passion to do what you do is lost.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not just competition; it's everything will be impacted.
Yeah.
I was going to look at, instead of saying COVID-19 is going to be here next year, we're going to be stopped in December, whatever. Just for now, the situation we're under, we didn't do the gradual. So all we're doing is we're going to play a step that we missed. Gradual step, finish strong. Finish strong means compete. Finals, compete. And the teams that
Well,
really
everyone's going to be able to play finals though.
but they had the chance. If they had the chance to.
But you missed chunks of the season now where you're not going to be able to play those catch-up games against teams that you may have won or lost.
All right, let's make it clear. How many grading phases did you play?
We played one.
VC. No, okay. Let's do the majority, right? Grading phase went for how many weeks?
Probably 8 weeks, is it?
So they got 8 games out of that, right? Majority, or 6 to 8 games,
6
right?
to 8, yeah.
Then we had 6 games in the season.
Mm.
Don't tell me teams haven't had enough games to be competitive. If they're in the bottom bracket now, they're in the bottom bracket because they're not in the bottom bracket because they've only played 6 games of the season. They've qualified.
Right.
They belong where they belonged. They've had games preparation before that. The season start. It's up to them to either have a good start or a bad start. I'm not saying not compete.
But we were saying we were going to ease into the season. Don't worry.
But no
about
one did.
losses.
So we can't use that as an example. Hey, I did,
Fair
and
point.
I'm 4-2.
Gotcha.
I eased in. I'm 4-2. I eased in. That's and no one can ever tell me otherwise. I managed my players, and we were starting to get momentum.
Yeah.
I'm going to do the same thing again. I'm going to ease them in for the first 2, and build up the concept.
Yep.
So I did that.
Yep.
The ones who went all hard and are struggling, there might be a reason why they're down the bottom. Maybe they went too hard. Maybe they didn't manage properly. Maybe they relied too much heavily on certain players who weren't ready to play such minutes. That's management problems. So I think there's been enough games played to be where you are in your season. It's up to you now on how you want to finish that season.
Yeah. All right.
Develop. We haven't discussed that word. We still need to develop these kids because at the average age of 10 to 15, 16, they're not going to win. Their competition there, their development, they've got plenty of years left. Plenty of years left. So what we miss out now, we'll get back if we do
you
it
think
right.
so?
If, like I said, if we don't, we're stuffed in life.
Yeah.
Don't just think basketball. Think football, soccer, netball.
But so that's what I'm saying. So we're not in the habit. We're not in the consistent habit of competing.
I get
in
that.
competition.
But we also haven't done the training to learn how to compete properly. Have we?
Probably not. No.
Because you can still bring that competitive edge at training.
Absolutely.
But we don't.
Mm. Oh.
So a lot of teams, and you'd be honest with me, run the X and O concept. It's a stop, start, standstill training. It's not competitive training where you're actually fighting for the hard ball get. You're actually prepared to over the ball. You're prepared to. You can bring that in training. You can still create a training plan that brings a competitive edge.
So now we start to branch off into the art of coaching again, don't we?
Absolutely. So
what type of coach should clubs have or associations have in there?
A well-balanced coach. A coach who understands what's needed in the time it's needed. So instead of saying, I'm just going to come in and run this, hang on. Each pre-season is different to a season. The start of the season is different to a mid-season. The mid-season is different to an end of the season. And we're going to remember, if we're really about our programs, the end of the season is also the commencement of the next season, because we've got to make sure we're ready for next season, because there's no break. The thing about our sport, the worst football has in local sport, has a 6-month break or a 4-month break. What's basketball get?
4 weeks, if you're lucky.
Right. So you're always preparing for next week. When the season comes in rep basketball, 9 times out of 10, the tryouts are the following week or within the next 3 weeks. So we're always preparing for the long term for the program. We just got to make sure, how do we manage that better while maintaining competitive edge, while also maintaining development and managing our players mentally, physically, and socially.
I get you.
It's called culture.
Well, that's where
called leadership.
That's where we're going back to, isn't it? With this conversation, it always goes back to what's your foundation. If you don't have the right culture or the right people, part of your culture, like we spoke about last week, it can rust. It'll rust from the inside out.
And sometimes you might have an age group program. You have to sacrifice wins and losses, because if we don't work on the development of this age group, we're in trouble when Youth League comes in 4 years' time. Does anyone do that? So I identify.
We've spoken about this before. I don't know what the value of it is at the moment.
Yeah, so if I say, for example, I'm at a club, under 16s is in dire straits.
You're talking about mine? I'm coaching under 16s.
How many games you want? No, Joe. Right?
Oh,
I'm joking.
It's a cheap shot.
I'm joking.
With 1-4.
Yeah, but you have, and you're in the hunt. So the question is, if I see that there's an issue with the 16 program, and the ones that are compared with this, I have to say, guys, we need to build this program, because in 2 years' time, we're going to have a Youth League program. That's the future. So sometimes you'll work out what is our focus for that age group, but no one does that. It's all the ones must do the two. It's all win, win, win. And when the twos play the threes, I hate the fact it's an us and them mentality. It should be how good's this? Let's.
Yeah.
I don't want to try and say there, but I've got to be very careful of that. Yeah. But we have this us and them, and not inclusiveness. And your future of the program, you've got to focus on where those things need to be worked on. So your under 12s aren't the future yet. So get as many as you can try. And when they get done, we started off fine. 16s ago, we need to fix that.
Yeah.
The future is not just about the wins and losses for that season. If we get a right balance now, a right engagement now, we'll get a long-term club platform. What do you think?
I agree. I don't disagree with anything you said.
So I'm always right. I'm joking. Be the devil.
No one's doing that, Dazza. Not everyone's doing that.
The standard you walk past is the standard you accept. Not you.
I know.
Everyone accepts that standard.
What I'm saying to you is no one's doing this. Not the majority's not doing this.
I get that.
So we're going to get to September this year, October this year. The cycle starts again, right? Now we may get to end of this year again, and we got another. Like, I'm being hypotheticals, but you got to live in a bit of a world of hypotheticals right now. We're going to have another lockdown, another snap lockdown here, there, and everywhere over the next 12 months again. What? So we're going to keep going on doing the same old.
All right. So maybe
across the majority, but It's not going to change, mate.
So a club can get together and say, okay, well, we see what you're saying. So what can if I was a business, I can't afford snap lockdowns. So I have to start to work out how do I survive this? As a club, if that's my concerns, how can we maintain competitive levels, engagement, development, all that stuff? What can we create better and sure to do when we're on the court, when we're off the court? But what we always say, that's the standard. No one's going to do it. But one day, a club's going to do it. And all it takes is one club to do the right thing, to sacrifice that year for long-term development or the longevity of that club. And you watch what happens. But
I know it's a copycat thing, but yeah, there's a lot of clubs out there. There's a lot of people playing. There's a lot of participation. There's a lot of coaches that have their own different ideas.
And yet we've got so many concerns in the sport of basketball. I'm not sure about other sports, to be fair. So I'm not trying to say basketball's the only one.
Yeah.
But I had a guy say to me once years ago and annoyed me. But Darren, there's always going to be issues in the committee. I said, but you accept that. You accept it's like Liberal and Labor. They're never going to get along. And if Liberal agrees with the Labor concept, they're not going to say, we agree with that. They're going to be against that because they're going to lobby for something else so they can get the votes.
I think it's good to have a healthy, different point of view within the committee level and stuff. But like we said, going back to culture the other day, you got to have a baseline set of values that you all agree upon.
Yeah, and don't have an agenda political view.
Correct.
Have a legitimate view that's for the best of these kids. But don't give me that other view that people use. Hang on, that's not for the kids.
Yeah.
That's not for the future of the club. It's like when I give an example. We've done uniforms that for. Now we do a lot of good work, and we have to stop doing uniforms for a reason, right? But what happened is every time a new member of the committee comes in, I know someone who does merchandise. I know someone who does uniforms. Well, no, we've got a good system in place here. It doesn't matter. I know someone. So what's the first thing they do? They start to shop around. They start to create a wedge and division between what was working well. That's what people do when they come into a club without their kids, they try and create the wedge and try and dictate what they want. Where the club should be about what they need. Correct. Not what I want.
Correct.
That's the difference. There's a lot of I wants out there. So your question to me earlier, I think it's easy. I don't think it's complicated because we get so consumed by what everyone else isn't doing and what everyone's prepared not to do. That's always just going to be the same. We stop being creative. We stop thinking outside the square and we don't move forward in the new version of how basketball could be or should be.
Or looks, feels. Yeah.
When we say we should do it, to get the season in play, maybe we should offer a different structural season landscape for this year. But no one's going to do that.
Why?
Yeah, but right? Yeah. And then we could do then are we worried about not compare? Is it the club's fault? Is it the government? It's not the COVID-19's fault. It's the people running the clubs who aren't prepared to say long-term, short-term, for the benefit of everyone involved.
We're going to do things differently.
Yeah. Now some clubs do that very well. So I'm just saying generic, guys. So I'm not. But the overall view, if you looked on the outside looking in, you'd think Basketball Victoria represents all the clubs. Basketball Australia should represent all the states. The federal government and the state governments have proven that if you don't all work together, it's never going to work.
You're chasing your tail.
It's us and them mentality. And then your clubs, it's us and them mentality. So
yeah,
I'm for, I think it can be simple if you actually generally thought it was for them. It's what they want or what they need, not what I want, what I need.
Yeah.
It's pretty simple, isn't it?
Yeah.
So why is
it simple?
So why is it complicated? What do you think it's complicated?
Because we're June now, and we're still just doing the same things we were before COVID hit.
All right, so let's have a conversation. Was the problem pre-COVID? Are we using COVID as a reason why there's so many flaws now, or has COVID highlighted
what the problem probably was?
It's like mental health. It was always there, mate. It's always there.
Correct.
And the nature of it was always there. It's just been amplified because of COVID-19, not because of COVID-19.
And now we're not resourced properly enough to manage it or help people out with it.
Because we weren't doing enough in the right ways before COVID.
So why are we going on same old, same old? That's just the thing that I'm saying.
Well, are you prepared to make change?
You and I both know we are.
I'm going to put my hand up.
Yeah.
I'm happy to get involved.
Contact Darren.
I'm happy to get involved and get a big club. But I'll tell you what stopped me being part of some clubs. I've been their conflict because they're scared of the change.
Well, the landscape's changed now, so I don't see how there's any sort of conflicts.
Well, that's
I
what
don't see that.
that's what we're about to see. So for me, I mean, I'm not saying I'm the answer, but one thing I'm going to say is I'm prepared to try it.
Yep.
So I'm not going to sit and go, oh, no one else will do it. Well, guess what? I'm prepared to do it. Just got to find the right environment that's going to allow me to give me the chance to prove it.
Yep.
And you'll have hiccups along the way and highs and lows, but as long as the direction's the same and the vision's the same, those bumps in the road will become enjoyable learning curves.
Absolutely. And you're going to grow together.
And
Because you're going to learn some things along the way together. Yeah. And that's the beauty of it. That's what it's meant to be about.
if that door's not the right one to go through, there's another door over there. There's other options.
Yeah.
But unless you try the options, you're never going to get the opportunity.
Correct. That's what I'm saying.
An opportunity creates more opportunity.
Correct. Absolutely.
We're at 50 minutes.
Should we?
I could go on a day for that, but I'm going to be very careful. I don't want to come because I'm going to take over the world. I would if I could, but
Jesus.
so
Gosh.
anyway, so
That was a
maybe
good discussion.
maybe the message is pretty clear. Let's not stick to what's been the same for so long. It is time for change. New landscape, new vision, new feel
Yes.
with new outlook.
Let's-
That all meant the same, didn't it? I just changed words.
But we've spoken about it. We've spoken about both sides of the line.
Happy?
Happy, mate. Thank you for today.
Oh, now I just want to take on the world. Here we go. I'm tired. I'm already tired, mate.
I'm mentally drained.
Hey, you got my new jacket, the
That's great.
TS jacket.
So are these coming out, Daz? Sorry, just before we sign
Oh,
off.
I think so. Look, I feel comfy in them. The hoodies, that's something I'm going to start doing more of. Yeah, so the jackets are, yeah. So if you like a jacket, let me know. We might.
What are
look
those jackets called? Parkers? Are they
jacket.
Park.
Hey, that's another one. Hey, Aaron, what's a hoodie called?
What?
You said, what's the jacket called? It's
No,
a jacket.
I mean like that.
Oh,
type
the
of
style.
jacket.
You meant
The
style of jacket.
What's that called? Is that called a Parker or something? Or-
Blue jacket.
Let's sign off. We're fried. See you, everyone. Thanks for listening. We
Love
hope
you
enjoyed.
guys. All the best. Take care. Bye.
Cheers.